Hello, everyone. Let me just get organized. Do I look okay here? I think so. I got this going on behind me. That'd be Beans. She's my kitty. So, welcome, welcome. I feel very inspired and in my heart about sharing this information with you all today because what is it that all of us want? We want a loving and connected relationship. We want that one special someone that we know has our back, that loves us so much, that's willing to go through life with us through the ups and the downs and all the twists and the turns. And, I never know what I'm going to talk about because I let spirit guide me. I let my higher self guide me. And laying in bed last night, this came up and said, this is what you need to say. This is what you need to talk about. So, hey, little iodine, welcome, welcome. So, I want to jump on today, and I don't know how long this is going to be because I have to leave here at a quarter to the top of the hour to go drop off my car for some maintenance. And but I'm going to try to get through all the information because I really want you guys to really understand this on a level that I mean it. Because if there's anything you need to know, there's anything that's going to take you on the path to attracting your forever love, your lifer, your person that is going to treat you as equally, respectfully, and lovingly and kindly and with protection, then it's going to be what I'm going to share with you today. Because everything is energy. Everything is energy. In fact, I have a lot of mystical experiences in my meditations, and I had that come up in one of my meditations. And even though I know that here, and I know it here, I pretty much know that. In this meditation, it came to me in a place of that pure, unconditional, loving space, and it said, everything is energy. Everything is energy. So it set it in a place that I could feel it like in my pure divinity, like in my soul, in every cell of my essence. And so I don't know why these messages are coming up for me. This is just where I'm at for my path. But I think what it does is it really solidifies what I share with you all because I 100,000% trust these messages when they come because they've never been wrong. They've always guided me to the next best step. And being a creator in the world, I share these things with you all because I want you guys to thrive in life. I was thinking this morning as I was driving to get my tea, I was thinking, why do I do what I do? Because being a creator is not that easy, y'all. There's a lot involved, a lot. And it's not just with all of this and the technology and finding things like this, it's lighting, it's your mood. It's things that we're going through on our own path. It's course correcting, it's meditating. It's all types of things. So, but I thought to myself, what is the reason why I do what I do? And what happened was is my heart filled up with love. And it said, because you love people, Kristen, because you want people to thrive. You don't want people to suffer anymore. And that was the number one reason why I made a blog and actually created a website, my very own website. Had no idea what I was doing. But anyway, with all that being said, I am here to talk to you all today about the 3 essential things that you need to have in place when you are dating. These are crucial because things are so much easier. Things flow and vibe so much easier in the dating process. And I don't mean just like when you find someone and you start to date that individual. I'm talking about in the entire process because dating can be a little bit more complicated these days than it was back in the day because we would actually have to meet somebody first. We'd have them in person, they would be in our environment and we could get feels for them and maybe sometimes even get to know them as a friend first. But now with technology and all the online stuff that there is, it can be a little bit more complicated. So, at either rate, whether you meet somebody in person or you meet them online, these are the 3 things that I want you to have in place. And I'm going to tell you how to get there if you're curious about that or you want to cut your learning curve and you are ready to really, really get busy with this, really make get yourself aligned in the best possible place you can be in. I will tell you that the relationship that I have now with my husband, who's in the backyard right now in the pool, and I told him I was going live, so he's got to stay out there and get waterlogged. um, because I don't like the distractions. It's not that I mind, him listening or anything like that. It's just I don't like the distractions. So, and I was worried that this might distract me and my other pets that are around, but we'll see. All right, so let's get started because I don't have a lot of time here today. The number one thing, and these are not in an order, these are all congruent, these are all at the same time. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed about what I'm going to say. In fact, I'm going to invite you to sit back. Hopefully, you have a nice beverage and you're in a quiet space. Maybe you're driving, whatever it might be. Driving is great, by the way, because we get into a lovely brainwave state when we are driving. So if you're driving, that's good too, but don't look at the screen, just listen. And just soak in what I'm saying. Just soak it in because that's how we start to change is by soaking it in because our brains are programmed in a certain way that we're thinking the same things all the time. Okay. But when we take in new information, this is where the magic is because we start to take in new information and our life, our brain will start to change and adjust. And when our brain programming changes, our body follows the mind. So we will start to show up in life differently. I mean, I did this organically on my own 12 years ago, something like that. And then also being a follower of Dr. Joe Dispenza, everything he said just backed up what I had learned organically. And so I teach this from a new level now, which is really beautiful and brilliant because I am always evolving and growing myself. And it just really solidifies what I know to be true and what my own experience was. So I not only come to you with knowledge and information, but I also come to you with wisdom from my own experiences. So I'm going to take a sip real quick. We're in Arizona. It's hotter than Jesus out there. Okay. The first step. Are you ready? Authenticity and vulnerability. Okay. Being a person who has been called real my whole life, just been called that my whole life, you're so real, you're so real. And I am, because I really processed this when I was going to share this with you all. It's like, I was trying to find places that I was inauthentic. And for the most part, I will say for me, for Kristen Brown, I'm very authentic. I was, say what I like, say what I don't like, these type of things. But there was other places that I wasn't. There was other places that I was still in the mode of trying to be liked or trying to have approval or trying to get the guy or being what I thought the particular guy wanted me to be. Okay. This is just constructs of the brain. This is the subconscious mind that's running the show. This is the programming that thinks we're not enough, that thinks we're too much of one thing, not enough of another thing. So the brain will start to rally around and try to construct how to make us safe. Okay. However, this works against us because those are all aspects of the ego. And when we are actually trying to make ourselves safe, we are doing the opposite. Because we are being the overgiver, the people pleaser, the inauthentic version of ourself, which is going to attract a certain person to us that is attracted to that version. Okay. So we are actually selling a false front. And this doesn't mean we're doing this purposefully. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with us. And for gosh sakes, do not feel ashamed. Shame, you guys know, is like one of the number one things I talk about here because shame is that programming that runs the show. Okay. So anytime that we are feeling ashamed of anything, even if it's unconscious, it's going to promote our behaviors in life. So truly, when you hear new things and you're discovering new things about yourself, just be like, wow, I didn't know that. Now, if your brain is wired to go to shame, all right, because you've wired it, it's been wired that way. I'm not saying you did it purposefully. You're going to feel that initial pull in that direction because that's your wiring, your programming. Those are the nerve cells that are firing and wiring constantly for you. So it's going to be your automatic mechanism. Okay. You're going to want to go to shame. Your brain's going to want to go to shame. Catch it in that moment and say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling ashamed right now. What can I do? What does Kristen say? Kristen says shame doesn't serve me. Kristen says shame keeps me stuck. And maybe other people in the world too, other creators in the world too. And then take it and move it over to a different thought. And that thought is, this is really great information. I'm just going to absorb it as information without any judgment. Keep judgment out of the picture, because anytime we are judging ourselves, we again are firing and wiring in that old brain pattern. This is how we get things done. This is the magic on this journey, you guys. This is how you rewire yourself and you change your energy. Dr. Joe says all the time, nothing changes until we change our energy. Okay? This is a brain scientist. This is someone who has studied this stuff for decades, who has brought in scientists from all over the world to map what is happening to the brains of the people in his audiences that are having these radical and profound changes. Okay, with that being said, let's get back to being authentic and vulnerable. Authenticity means authentic, the true version of you. When you go out and you start dating somebody, and by the way, if you're already dating somebody, you can throw this in right now. You can undo all the falseness that you have presented to them, because you want to see what happens. You truly do want to see what happens, because if you're continuing up with this same mode over and over and over again, you've attracted this person on that level. What if you start speaking up? What if you start talking about the things that you like and dislike? What if you start saying, I don't want to do that. I don't like that. That's not fun for me. Hold on, you all. I got to take my shoes off. This is live. I want to change positions. All right. Oh, shoot. Okay. Just hang with me, y'all. I'm on my new laptop and I've got things plugged in. All right. So you want to show up as the true version of yourself. Here's what's so cool about this. When you're in your true version of yourself, you're vibrating at a certain energetic frequency. Okay, this is known, period. This is known. When you're vibrating in a false version of yourself, you are vibrating at a frequency that is lower. So you are going to attract people to you from that lower frequency. All right? Kristen Brown, lifetime, decades of painful and lopsided relationships where I was not honored, where I was not loved, where they probably loved me the best they could, that I was not appreciated. I was taken for granted. I was abused. I was physically and emotionally abused repeatedly. Okay. Because there was this portion of me that was running the show that I didn't know about. Okay. I know that now. So when I dated this guy, Mr. Husband over here, I used to have a photograph over here. I was going to grab it so I could show you guys me and Doug. True authentic version of myself from go. I mean, he reached out to me when we were first dating. He's like, I was washing my car. He's like, yeah, come by and, visit you while you're washing your car. Nope. I hadn't seen him in 30 years. I'm like, nope, that's not going to happen. I don't want that. I'm washing my car. This is my alone time. I said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And then, in nice ways, it's we gotta have our manners, y'all. That's part of the thing too. Because a lot of times people try to be something that they're not, and they try to be tougher than they are as well. Don't show that. You want to show you who you are. Okay. Anyway, moving forward, I love to tell the story about that he would come to my house, and I was attracted to him, but we were just friends at this point. But he would come to my house, and I was no longer putting on a show. I was no longer like, okay, I just got off of work from doing hair all day. I gotta be cute still, or maybe re-shower or redo my hair. Or just no. I brushed my teeth. And if I had maybe a little smear of mascara, took a little Q-tip, wiped that off. And I was in my pajama bottoms and a sweatshirt when he would come visit me. I was me. This is how I am. Look at what I'm wearing right now. Okay. I'm in my walking clothes. All right. on with you guys live because I don't want to sell you guys a version of me that's not true. Yes, if I'm doing a professional speaking gig or something like that, I'm going to, but this is us talking just like we're sitting in my living room right now. And I want you guys to have that authentic version of me because as I build my YouTube channel, I don't want to build it from a false front. I want people to be attracted to me, to my teachings, to my essence, to my energy. And this is why y'all that come on these lives and comment a lot, and we're already forming friendships like little iodine right here. It's because I've been me and she's been her. See what I'm saying? So here's the important part about being authentic. Are you ready? You're going to weed out the people that you are not in alignment with. That's a hell yes. That's a feck yes. Okay. You want to weed out the people that you are not in alignment with. Okay. This is what authenticity will do. It will weed them out for you. Because when they come in, and I was trying to think of some examples today. I'm really not that great at examples, but I was thinking if someone is like, okay, I have a girlfriend who she does not like camping. She does not like the outdoors. She would prefer to stay in a hotel or some type of resort. That's her. Shine on, baby girl, shine on. And if she was dating a guy, it's like, "Oh, I love to go camping. I love to go, this type of thing." And she said, "Yeah, that's not my gig." What if she pretended? Okay, she's selling a false front to this person. Okay, got a message real quick. That's for sure. People are dropping out of my life right now. Oh my gosh. Lindsay, yes. That that actually makes my eyes tear up, and I get really happy when I hear that. You guys might be like, "It's so weird," because it's shocking at first for us when this starts to happen. It can be a little startling. I'm not saying that's true for you, Lindsay. It can be a little startling at first because we're so used to pleasing everybody that when this starts happening, we're thinking, am I doing something wrong? Just because of the old programming of people pleasing keeps creeping up. That's all. But what it is a true indicator of, sisters and brothers, is that you are shifting into a higher version of yourself, and the people that you attracted from that lower version of yourself no longer align. Fill your heart with love and let them go. So many people have dropped out of my life, and I think about them now and I'm like, I'm glad I had that season with them. And I send them love. And maybe at some point, they're going to circle back around and re-enter my life. And if they are, great. But it's going to be from the level of energy that we are at now, not the level of energy the people pleasing Kristen back in the day. See what I'm saying? Okay. So when we show up as our authentic self, and I just use that one example of camping and not wanting to camp, not wanting to do outdoorsy stuff, then we will weed out people that we just don't jive with. Because let's say that person, he's mountain biker, and he's like, yeah, come mountain biking with me. And she's like, yeah, I just really don't do that. At some point he'll be like, we just don't drive, or we lose interest in that person. And that's okay. Let's say you're a very, excuse me, cerebral person who likes to read the news a lot. You do a lot of reading or crossword puzzles or things like this. And then you meet this person that loves to go dancing and loves to go out and live music, and you're a quiet person that likes to stay at home. Let's say that's happening in your life. What are you going to do? Okay. You want to say who you are. You want to be who you are. And I'm going to throw the vulnerability piece in here for a particular reason. Okay. When we are honest with our emotions, two things can happen. One, you're going to see who that person is based on how they handle your emotion. All right. The second thing is that people connect with us through emotion. That is how connection happens. Vulnerability begets connection, and connection begets trust. And trust forms a really great relationship. Get what I'm saying? So, being vulnerable, a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to cry in front of this person, or I don't want to be sad. I don't want to show my anger. I don't want to show my frustration. I don't want to share what my narcissistic parent just said or did. No, we've got to share these things with people. Hold on. so that they can get a true, authentic version of ourselves and of our lives, and we get to see who they are. Okay, let me look at the time. Oh, I got 15 minutes left. The next one is unapologetic standards. All right. This means that you know in your complete soul, in your spirit, what you require treatment from another person, behavior from another person in order to feel good. Okay? Respect, honor, care, understanding. I am a huge person about tone of voice. I don't like people raising their voice to me. I don't like it. I will talk about it. You can talk to me about anything in the world. You can be madder than hell at me. I don't care. But you don't get to raise your voice to me. I will sit in it. I will listen. I will understand. But you don't get to raise your voice to me. See what I'm saying? That's an unapologetic standard. That's a heck no for me. So, this is all about getting really in touch with who you are, knowing who you are on a level that you've never known yourself before. What's fascinating about this healing journey that I continue to just blows my mind, I get so wowed about, is that I keep discovering more about myself. All right. It's not as much as when I first started doing this work because we're functioning on such an autopilot. We're functioning, like I said, from that programming that's in our brain that we really don't know who we are, what it is that we truly enjoy, and how we want to be treated because we're kind of accepting the scraps. We're kind of accepting whatever is coming our way because we want to be liked and we want to be accepted and we want this person to stay in our life. All right. Those are all low vibe energetic frequencies that are going to keep attracting people that are not going to value us. Because what's happening is we're not valuing ourselves. We are truly not loving, respecting, honoring, caring for ourself. And when we are not doing that for self, we are going to be in a frequency that is lower. So, unapologetic standards are about knowing what a person needs to do or say to be in communion with you. Now, this doesn't mean they need to be perfect, they need to change their personality, any of these things. I'm really talking about standards here. Okay. So, I don't like when men, okay, here's the thing. We put on our cute dresses or our platform shoes, whatever, and we're walking someplace and the man is 10 feet ahead of us. That's not a good one for me. It's like, hey, come back here and walk with your woman. And sometimes we need to teach people these things because they haven't learned yet. Because a lot of times people think that their person, their partner needs to be perfect from go. You're not going to find that. This is what also all these things that I'm sharing with you right now, why they're so important, because what these things are, they are a grounded, rooted state of love and honor of self, which will help you to speak up and to set the appropriate boundaries where you need to, because people aren't perfect. And if you've read my book or are reading my book or plan on reading my book, hold on. I don't know why I have a frog in my throat today. The Recovering People Pleaser, a spiritual guide to reclaim your true worth and attract the love you deserve. The link is over here in the chat. It's a very short link my buddy made for me. You're going to see there's a massive chapter on boundaries because boundaries aren't just one and done. There's a lot of moving parts to boundaries, but I also talk about in that book a particular section where I was setting boundaries with my mama, my sweet beloved lady that I told her when she was here on earth. I said, you're going to sit on God's right shoulder when you die. That's how good she is. She was a loving, amazing woman. And I had to set a boundary with her over and over again. And you can read about that when you read the book. And it took her a minute because her wiring was in such a way that I'm sorry, another thought came into my mind right now. Her wiring was in such a way that she was a pleaser and she was trying to please a person, my daughter, and she was not good at her nose. And she was saying yes, yes, yes all the time. So it was going to take her a minute to work out of her own programming. to be able to meet my boundary. Okay. Now, there's some boundaries that are one and done. I call these deal breakers, and those are in my first book. I talk about this at length in my first book, from doormat to sweet empowerment. And I also talk about it in my course, from self love to soulmate masterclass. Okay. Deal breakers are one and done. Okay. This is what I want you guys to understand. There's pink flags and there's deal breakers. Okay. A deal breaker is one and done. That means once you learn this about that person, you're done. Like, there's a heck no. One of those things for me is substance abuse. I don't deal with substance abuse at all. I don't deal with physical abuse at all. I don't want to date someone who has been incarcerated for a violent crime. Okay. There's a lot of things that are just one and done. These are our deal breakers. They're literally called a deal breaker for a reason, because people will come to me and they'll say, oh, so and so is doing this, but that's a deal breaker. I'm like, well, why are you still there? Why are you still there? Get really clear to yourself about what deal breakers are. They're one and done. A hell no. Okay. Then there's pink flags. Pink flags are, I don't really like what's happening right now. I don't like what they said or how they treated somebody or what happened here. They're just a little indicator that, I need to speak up. Okay. Because people aren't perfect. My husband's not perfect. I'm not perfect. My kids aren't perfect. My best friends aren't perfect. No one's freaking perfect. It is our job to speak up unapologetically, set those boundaries, say what we need to say to that person to see how they respond and react. All right. If this is someone that's like in the growing field, they want to heal, they're very self-reflective, they have self-awareness, chances are they are going to switch gears and they are going to say, okay, yes, I see what you're saying. Which, by the way, if you hear anything from here, the number one thing that I always say, people are like, oh, I want someone who's good looking and makes money and does this and does that and does the other thing. That's great. Those things are great. But the number one, hands down, number one thing that you want in a partner, and I'm going to say that you want, is someone that takes responsibility for their stuff. That's what you want. Not only takes responsibility, because we've all had the 85,000 sorries with no change. Okay. But taking responsibility for your stuff, for their stuff, and then making the necessary changes. Even if it's not perfect at first, because like I said, they might have to be changing, their own programming. I've dated many people that have never been called out on their stuff in their life. So guess what? I come in, Miss Boundary, Miss Unapologetic Standards, and I'm like, yeah, not okay. And they're like, no one's ever said this to me. And they're all indignant, right? I'm like, well, sorry. They should have been saying this to you. I'm sorry that you were enabled in your life. Sorry, not sorry. But I'm not going to put up with that. That's not okay with me. All right. Also, when we set these unapologetic standards, what happens is a person's going to see your value. Shocking. They're going to see your value. So, where the old people pleasing version of ourselves is afraid to set this standard because we want to be liked, a quality person, hear me now, write this down, put it in your brain. A quality person is going to go, what is it about him or her? Something's going to reach them differently because you are showing up in a way that a large majority of people don't do. Okay. So they may have been in relationships where they're like, passing on people left and right. Sometimes they become serial daters because, or what's the other word? The men, oh gosh, I can't remember the word right now, but the men that don't commit all the time. A lot of times it's because they know what it is they're looking for. There's a certain feeling that they want to feel from their partner. And until they feel that feeling, they're just like something's missing. And they may not even be conscious as to what is actually missing. I have a episode on my podcast called 4 Reasons Why a Career Bachelor Chose Me to Marry. That episode, if any of my episodes, every time I get on my iTunes and I check out what episodes are being watched. That one's always being watched all the time. It's a really great episode. If you haven't watched it, or listened to it, sorry, it is on my I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting distracted because I have to leave soon. Let me just get centered here. It is on my podcast, the Sweet Empowerment Podcast, not the version that's here on YouTube, because I only started uploading episodes recently because my podcast is years old. It is on the Sweet Empowerment Podcast. If you scroll down, you'll find it. It might be like episode 45. Don't quote me, something like that. But it's a very good episode because it talks about all these things I'm talking about. I was different to Doug because I did my healing, by the way. I was different. I showed up differently to him than any other woman had ever showed up before. And he took the plunge and actually got married because he was, 45 when we met? He was that career bachelor. Mind you, he had gotten to the stage of being engaged with people, but he couldn't quite pull the plug. He just couldn't quite get himself to do it because there was something inside of him that was requiring something else that he didn't even know was there until I showed up. And then he was like, that's it. That's what's been missing. Okay. So keep in mind that your unapologetic standards are going to demonstrate to a quality man or woman, it's going to demonstrate to them that you are different. Okay. There's something different about you. You know your worth. And when we know our worth, a person tends to see us as worthy. If we don't know our worth, they tend to see us as not as worthy. Okay, let me move on. I'm going to take a sip and I'll give you the last one. The last one is relax. Slow down. Slow down. If I think of more, I'm going to give a part 2 to this. So many times we're in this mad rush to get into a relationship because there's an aspect of us, a part of us that believes if we could just feel loved, everything is going to be okay. If we just have that one person, there's actually a part of us that thinks they're going to save us on some level. We may not consciously think this, or we do consciously think this. The healing journey is about being radically honest with ourselves. It's about saying, what is it that I'm in a rush about? Why do I feel like I need to have this thing right now? Okay. Many times we're going to see because there's a feeling that we want from the relationship. The same thing is actually with any manifestation in our life. It's the feeling that we want from that thing. But here's how the law of attraction and energy works. When we are vying and we are rushing towards something, it is like a wet beach ball in a pool. When you are rushing towards that thing, you're going to keep pushing it away. It's so light that the momentum and the wave of us coming towards it actually repels it and pushes it away. Plus, it's wetness and it spins. So if we even kind of touch it, it's going to spin out. Get what I'm saying? We can never quite reach it because of this energy that we are pushing toward is an energy of, believe it or not, lack. This, I don't have this. I have to have this. Frenzy, 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 frenzy. I call it panting. And I don't say it towards even just relationships. It can be panting towards wanting money, panting towards a career, panting towards wanting followers, panting towards wanting likes on your social media, whatever it might be. It's a rush, okay? And that rush is repelling energy. So when we can get into the energy of relaxation, where we can actually sit back and go on dates as in observation. What am I seeing here? What am I seeing in them? Stop auditioning for your partners. You're not here to get a part. You're here to find your life partner. And if you're auditioning and you're like, okay, I got to make sure I'm all these things. First of all, like I said, they're not seeing your authentic self. But secondly, you're not doing the most important homework of all, which is paying attention to them. Pay attention. Who are they? When you slow down and you get out of the frenzy, you're going to start to see things that you never saw before. I'm speaking from experience because someone would come into my life and I'm like, oh, he's so cute. He's so this, he's so that. We laugh and we have all this fun. Get into a relationship with this person and I haven't even paid attention to who he is, really. Somewhat. I was somewhat aware. I wasn't completely in the dark. When you slow down, what happens is you're just resonating out that you matter, you're valuable, you got your own back, you respect, love, and honor yourself. That's when people are drawn to you. Many times ghosting comes because we have this energy going towards this person. And I was going to give a talk about ghosting at some point too, because there's a lot involved with ghosting. So I won't get on into all of that right now. But you have so much energy going towards this person that it's off-putting to them, that they're like, ugh. Now, a person that makes it all about themselves, narcissistic type people and takers, they love that. They're like, oh yeah, make it about me, baby. Make it about me. Okay? They love that. But when you make it about you in a grounded way, in a beautiful way, not in a way of being selfish or vain or it's all about me. I don't mean like that. I mean, you have yourself like you're taking care of the most prized possession on this planet. Let me see who I allow in my space, especially when it comes to sex and females. Has this person earned the right to enter your sacred space? That's another thing. When we're passing out the cookie left and right, oh, hell, they used a condom. It's okay. No, it doesn't matter. We release oxytocin when we have sex. That oxytocin bonds us. Okay. It bonds us to the man. Then we're all goo goo gaga. He has not yet bonded with us. And now we've got this energetic frenzy coming towards them and they're put off. So they start to pull away. And in that pull away, we get scared. So we start to reach out even more and try to make plans or make them dinner or wear sexy lingerie or do something. They're even more put off and they pull away even more. Sometimes we can pull them in for a second, all right, because whatever it is that we're offering sounds good in the moment, but the energy is still there and then they are put off from us, all right? But if we're in that energy and a man pulls away, we sit back and say, okay, pull away. I'm going to go do my life. All right. Because they may pull away for many different reasons. But let's say that happens and you're like, go do your life. I got me. I'm going to go have my fun over here. Again, that clears the energy and that's very attractive energy. So, what I want to share with you guys, one last thing, is I unpacked a lot for you today. This is a lot. I know that. And you might be thinking, how am I going to get all this stuff done? This is why I made my course, Self Love to Soulmate Masterclass. It is the exact work that I did. None of it is nothing that I didn't do. The exact work that I did to help people cut the learning curve. And let me tell you something. I am not lying when I tell you this. 90% of the people who have taken through this course have found their person. The 10% that haven't have decided they're not ready yet for some other reason. I get the messages all the time, and it's not right. It's not 2 months later, okay? Because they're still in dating processes and things like that. But I get the message, I'm engaged. I found him. And they send me pictures and photos and things like this. So when you are really, really dedicated to the work, you're like, I'm done with this ish. I'm done with these crappy relationship patterns that I have. I'm done with attracting users, abusers, jerks, narcissists, cheaters, the whole lot. When you are really, truly done with it, and I don't want you 1 minute before you're not done with it because you got to be done first. Okay. When you're truly done with it and you enter into the Self Love to Soulmate Masterclass, which is a 6-week course where we work together one-on-one, you get a module a week. You do the homework. You also get a homework sheet. You do the homework and we talk for an hour and we unpack and we reset the foundation and we reprogram. And there's mantras, there's meditations, all types of things you can do. When you do that work, you are going to change in a way that you have never thought possible. I did this work organically. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I just knew I couldn't do that anymore. And I vowed to remain single and celibate for as long as it took. And I started to do this internal work. And after I changed, I said, what happened? What did I do? And then I made a course on it because I'm like, I got to help other people. And this is men and women, by the way. The course, in the course, I speak as if I'm speaking to women, but it is for men as well. Okay. It's the same work because the same core healing work, it's the same for all of us. Every single one of us. We have one path here, and that's to return to love. Is to return to love, the unconditional love that is inside us for ourselves. And that unconditional love is powerful and it's beautiful and it's alluring and it's attractive and it's a MF vibe that's up here that pulls people that matches that. We literally upgrade our energetic vibration. So if you guys are interested in that, to work with me for 6 weeks is only $7.99. $799, not $7.99. All right. It is, I believe it's cheaper than if you got me for single sessions. All right. Yeah, it is. Or close. I can't remember. But anyway, 6 weeks, poignant work, condensed work, laser focused work to work on the aspects of your psyche that are going to heal you and reset your foundation. You're literally going to change your life and experiences from the inside out. Quoting Dr. Joe today, nothing in our outer world changes until our energy changes. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can pop over to my website, kristenbrown.org, and click on the Self-Love to Soulmate tab. Also, you can take it as a self-study. I do offer this to people who may not want to work one-on-one, maybe can't afford to work one-on-one. So for $97, you're going to get all the course materials and you can go through this on your own. All right. And I tell this to people all the time, you buy the course and you're like, okay, some things are confusing. I got a lot of it, but you know, I have some questions. Then you can hire me for a one-on-one session where we work through whatever questions that you have. However it looks for you, no pressure. You can also find it, I should type it in here, but I have to put down my microphone, kristenbrown.org/soulmate. You can find it that way as well. And I'll put that in the description. Hopefully I will remember to put that in the description after this broadcast is over. All right, it is time for me to go. I have to go take my car. So remember, authenticity and vulnerability, unapologetic standards. Know who you are. Know what you require to feel treated with respect, honor, and love. That is who you are. That is what you deserve. Okay. You're not some weird person because you want to be treated appropriately. We all deserve to be treated appropriately, as equally as we treat other people appropriately. Because again, one more thing, we can't expect people to treat us in a way that we're not treating them back, by the way. So if you want someone that tells the truth, you got to tell the truth. You want someone who's respectful, you got to be respectful. You want someone who's on time and considerate, you got to be on time and considerate. Okay. We can't ask for other people to be something that we are not ourselves. This is what the healing work is. And this, you guys, is hands down, the way we attract our life partner. All right. And by putting all these things into place, it's how you can show up into the relationship in a more healthy and empowered way if and when something comes up that is not cool. Something you're like, yeah, no, that you need to work through with your partner. Because relationships are works in progress, but we can find someone who's willing to do that work with us. Okay. So if you don't want to do any of the courses, any of those things, you can grab my book. 2 books, actually. Second book, The Recovering People Pleaser, A Spiritual Guide to Reclaim Your True Worth and Attract the Love You Deserve. That is on Amazon. The link is here. Go.ht. What is it again? Okay. Oh my gosh. Go. Kristen. All right. I can't find it. Go.ht/book. That's what it is. Go.ht/book. You can find it there. That's the quick and short link over there. This is all the stuff I talk about too. It's all the healing work is in that book. So you can have it in book form if you don't want to take it with a course with me. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up. I love your homework. Yes, this is a wonderful message. So glad you decided to share. No auditioning is perfect. Yes. And thank you for listening, everybody, for coming in and joining. Hey, share this with someone that you think could benefit. Also, get together with your friends, play this video, talk about it. Talk about it. Oh, by the way, I am way down for group coaching sessions. Way down for that. So if you got a group of women or men or just friends that you want to get together and pick my brain for an hour, let's do it. I will be more than happy for that. And also, I am very soon going to be starting the self healing circle. And it's going to be based on the principles of the recovering people pleaser, where we are going to work together as a group. Group coaching is bomb. I don't know if you guys have ever been in it, but you not only learn from me, but you learn from other people in the group and you form some really cool friendships. So that's amazing as well. So much love, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next time, probably on my next video or my next live. Bye, everybody. End stream.